Shalawam Israel. I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to YAHAWAH, YAHAWASHI, double honors to the apostles and the elders of GREATMILLSTONE, and Shalawam to the Lekman out there doing this work of faith and labor of love and truth, sincerity. Today I basically want to touch on strengthening the brotherhood, all right? It's Luke 22 and 31, and it reads, "And the Lord said, Simon, Simon, behold, Satan have desired to have you, that he may sift you as wheat." Right, so, you know what, any times in which we facing martial law, concentration camps, the mark of the beast, the famine that's coming here, to America, World War III is slowly brewing, you know what I'm saying? What Satan is desiring to sift us as wheat. And you know how the apostles are bringing out, during this Passover season, that the sifting process has begun, and there's more to come. So, Satan, is constantly trying to sift us as wheat. So in turn, we got to be aware of the devices of Satan in order to be able to dodge his fiery darts, and we do that by doing these shows and doing these lessons and trying to strengthen one another. All right, so it says, "But I have prayed for thee that thy faith fail not, and when thou art converted, strengthen thy brethren." Right, so that's the point. Before all these, because right now we have the brotherhood, and the brotherhood is strong. So before all these heavy plagues come upon America and the so-called white man scatters the nation of Israel, scatters the prophets, and we can't go out there and speak. We got to constantly be doing this work, constantly pushing out these shows. First and foremost, to be edifying, to try to be edifying through the spirit of YAHAWASHI, and to try to strengthen one another. How the scriptures say that we ought to comfort one another with these words. So that's the point, of these lessons. And how it said too that when thou art converted, strengthen our brethren. When you're converted, meaning when you're starting to change through the spirit. Because when brothers start praising to the Most High and you ask for spiritual gifts, you're going to have to go through them trials and tribulations, because that's a test. But after you pass those certain tests, whatever they may be, through the spirit, then the Most High bestow that spiritual gift upon you. So when the Most High gives that spiritual gift upon you, now through the spirit, you'll recognize, you may have prayed for more faith, or you may have prayed for more patience, or whatever the case may be. Now all of a sudden, you recognizing, you feel a little more firm in the faith. You're doing more things like not taking a risk, but you leaning more on your faith. And you recognize it by how you live and how you walk in day in and day out, that your ways are changing. You'll recognize that through the spirit. But after you recognize that through the spirit, and you recognize that increase that the Most High gave you, now you build upon that, and in turn, you reciprocate that same love and share it with the brotherhood by doing shows, by giving advice. However you may be able to help a brother through the spirit, it's your job. It's all of our jobs as men of the Lord, and to show our love for one another, to do that, man. Because what the Most High, YAHAWASHI said, to Peter, "If you love me, feed my sheep." So after we all, we constantly grow, day in and day out, because the spirit that's within us is renewed, when we pray unto the Most High every single day and ask for repentance, ask for forgiveness. So when we're constantly getting renewed, we're constantly being converted, when we're growing in the spirit, we have to do that, man. And when it comes, to spiritual gifts, the scriptures say that, concerning spiritual gifts, seek that ye be zealous to the edifying of the church, man. And when we're edifying, the word edify goes back to the word edificio, which means to build, man. So we're building one another, we're strengthening one another when we try to do these lessons and to try to be edifying through the spirit of YAHAWASHI, man. So that's what we got to constantly do, man. And like I said, another point is that, out of nowhere, it'll feel like the Most High just dropped the spiritual gift upon you, and you will feel that increase. Just like in this example with King Solomon, in which I'm about to get into. Or, before I get that, another point is that, with Bruce Leroy, because at first, he was just, I'm talking about Bruce Leroy from, brothers know the show, or the movie, might I say, The Last Dragon. When Bruce Leroy, he was fighting, and his teacher was telling him, that you've been looking everywhere but inside yourself, basically. And at a certain point, Bruce Leroy, he got that spiritual glow, when he recognized that he changed. You know what I'm saying? He recognized that change. He recognized that, that he was the master, So through that, so through him recognizing that, what? He got that spiritual growth. He got that spiritual gift. You know what I'm saying? And it seemed like what? It came out of nowhere when he was fighting Show Nothing, because it got what? Drawn out of him. So that's a big part of what we do too. When we do these lessons, we draw things out of each other. You know what I'm saying? And it sparks another brother's spirit to get on, you know what I mean, whatever it may be, and to build for himself and then to build for the rest of the brothers. Because it's a chain reaction. The Most High deals with each individual, then individually, you know what I'm saying, we grow and then we share it with each other. That's how it goes through this brotherhood, man. You know? But to grab this point with King Solomon, alright, this is 1 Kings chapter 3, and I'll start at verse 9, because you know what Solomon, well, the Most High, he basically told Solomon, ask whatever you want of me, and I'll grant it unto you. So we're about to get into what Solomon asked for. Alright, so this is 1 Kings chapter 3, verse 9. It says, give therefore thy servant an understanding heart to judge thy people, that I may discern between good and bad. For who is able to judge this thy so great a people? So what Solomon asked for, what he asked, you know, for what? More wisdom to be able to what? To discern from good and bad. You know what I'm saying? So what? He not only asked for that gift for himself, because he could have been selfish and just asked for riches, and that would have just been all to himself. But when he asked for something greater than the riches of the earth, then he asked for something greater than common gold, man. He asked for wisdom, because that's the real riches, man. You know what I'm saying? How it says what in Romans 11:33, oh, the depths of riches, the knowledge and wisdom of the Most High. So he asked for them spiritual riches, which is wisdom, so that he can grow first and foremost for himself, and then so he can be able to discern between good and bad of the Lord's chosen, the house of Israel, so he can build up the Lord's body, man, the nation of Israel. All right, so that's what we do. That's what we have to do with one another. Just as Solomon, you know, seek that for himself, we seek gifts for ourselves first and foremost, so that we can be built up on a higher level. And then we share that gift in turn with the rest of the brothers that's out there, with one another, man. That's the point of doing these lessons. And these basically letters, when we're doing these shows, to send to one another, to comfort one another through the Spirit, to strengthen one another, you know? And right after Solomon asked for that gift, what the Most High bestowed it upon him in an instant, man, in a heartbeat. And what was the next action that Solomon took? He went out there, you know, unto the people, and he discerned, you know, that matter with the woman, with the two women and the baby, and he made what? A wise decision. So that's what we got to do through the Spirit. And the precept to match that real quick. This is Malachi chapter 3 verse 18. It says, then shall ye return and discern between the righteous and the wicked, between him that serveth the Most High and him that serveth him not. So right, so you know, it said what? Then shall ye return. So what? We returned after what? We were lost without this truth and lost without the name of YAHAWASHI. Now we're back in the Spirit. So it says what? And discern between the righteous and the wicked, between him that serveth the Most High and him that serveth him not. So that's what we do when we out there in them highways and byways. What? You know, we discern matters for ourselves, and then what? We go out there every week, you know, to discern the matters of the nation of Israel, man, to tell them what's righteous and what's wicked, and for them to repent and turn from their ways. And that's what we do with the brotherhood, you know, individually amongst our camps. You know, you may have to chasten a brother, you may have to rebuke a brother, or just give that brother advice, or whatever you can do for the Spirit to be there for a brother, because it's all out of love at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? And that's how it goes, man. And you know, even though, you know, we still, you know, human, because what we in this poor flesh, and you know, we get susceptible to weakness at times. You know, it's understandable. But overall, through the Spirit, now is not the time to be getting weak in the faith, man. Now is not the time to be having wobbly knees in this truth, man, and to be winning on whatever you win. Now is the time in which we're supposed to be growing more bold and bold every single day within this truth, because these times that we're facing are very heavy upon us, man. Very heavy upon us, man. So, you know, we just got to constantly be on it, man. And, you know, for brothers, you know, that may be older in the Spirit, you know, just as far as that, you know, brothers that meet, or just individual, like in your own camp, say, for instance, in your camp, you may be a leader of your camp, or you may have a head position in your camp, and, you know, younger brothers under you may look up to you for spiritual guidance, or whatever the case may be. It's your job to help that brother however you can, whether it be advice or whatever the case may be, whether you need to get on them and tell them about itself, whatever. It's our job, because what? We are our brother's keeper, man. You know what I'm saying? We not on no Cain shit, how he said, you know, basically Cain was like, I'm not my brother's keeper, you know, in essence. No, but we not on it like that. We are our brother's keeper because we love one another and we here for one another. So it's our job to help one another through the Spirit, and especially brothers that may be younger than us individually within our camp. You know what I'm saying? To help strengthen them and to build them up through our personal experiences that we've had within this truth. And Lord willing, we be edifying to them to help build them up through the Spirit, man. You know? So, and in turn, you know, if you are, you know, a older brother in your camp or whatever the case may be, that's not to take that pridefully, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, use some big hot shot or nothing like that, because the scriptures say too, you know, that basically, I'm gonna grab it real quick. I'm gonna grab it since I was getting ready to quote it. All right. Sirach chapter 3, start at verse 17. It says, "My son, go on with thy business in meekness, so shalt thou be beloved of him that is approved. The greater thou art, the more humble thyself, and thou shalt find favor before the Lord." So that's the point. What? You know, just because you might have a leadership role, or you know, you're an older brother in your camp and other brothers may look up to you, what it said, the greater thou art, the more humble thyself. So in turn, if you helping brothers with spiritual advice or whatever the case may be, it's not for you to be prideful, man, because it's through the Spirit that you're able to be edifying to one another, man. You know what I'm saying? And it's not because of us, it's the will of the Most High, and it's the Most High speaking through us. So the greater you are in this truth, and the more you grow in this truth, the more humble you're supposed to be. So in turn, you take that, and a younger brother might be able to put you in check at times. You know what I'm saying? Or your younger brother might be able to help you out through the Spirit at times. Because that's the balance of things, man. And how it said, to discern good and evil, you always have a balance between things. Because the scriptures say too, that the Most High set up 2 and 2, and one at variance with one another. You have good, bad, wicked, righteous, so on and so forth. So everything has that balance, man. So we here to reciprocate that love to one another. And don't never think, you know, you're too big to get reproved or to get checked with the Spirit, or that you might not need a younger brother's help. You know, and in turn, you know, if you're a younger brother, you don't get prideful if, you know, you may have to, you know, get on the brother and things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? You got to watch your walk within this truth as well. You know what I'm saying? And two, you know, another thing is that, you know, when you're young in the Spirit, I'm still very young in the Spirit myself. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just speaking on, you know, my, you know, experiences and things like that. My little experience, what I have in this truth, you know, is that when you're young in the Spirit, you know, the best thing that you can do is be a good listener, man. Just be a good listener, all right? As it says in the scripture I'm about to grab right here, all right? Because, I'm going to just grab it. It's James chapter 1, verse 19. "Wherefore, my beloved brethren, let every man be swift to hear, slow to speak, slow to wrath." So, right, you know, when you come into this truth and you're a younger brother, the best thing that you can do, if you have brothers over you, is to be a great listener, be a great hearer, man. Because that's a key principle within this truth. You have to listen well, man. And because you might think that, you know, the brother might be telling you something that you already know. Well, maybe the Most High just need to refresh your memory or something, give you a rude awakening. Because even though you know it, maybe the Most High just need to tell you that certain something at that moment, because it's a reason for that. Because it might be something coming in your path that you might need to be refreshing of that one thing, and you might need to be reminded of. You know what I'm saying? Or even if you don't get a brother's point at that moment, you know, sometimes when you go back later at home and you meditate, then you really understand what the brother was saying. Or the Most High put that understanding upon you, and you'll realize what the brother was saying, man. So you got to take everything cheerfully, you know what I'm saying? Even if a brother's getting on you, or whatever the case may be, and always be a great listener, man. That's a key to learning in this truth, is always being a great listener, man. So we listen and we hear to what brothers have to say, or we listen and we hear what the elders and apostles have to say, and we take that internally and we build upon that, man. We listen first, you know what I'm saying? We build upon it within our minds, within our spirits, and then we take action to apply it to each in our lives individually, man. You know, so that's how this thing works, man. But you know, I don't want to keep going on and make this lesson too long, you know. But I hope I hit the point, basically. Yeah, Salaki Akim. Yeah, the camera died on me. But you know, my closing remarks, you know, this whole lesson, you know, was to the point that we need to strengthen each other, you know, while we still have each other before Esau come down on us, and you know, then we can't do nothing for one another, man. You know. So the point is, you know, let's get down to business, do what we got to do, man. So YAHAWASHI can deliver us, you know what I'm saying, up out of this wicked captivity, Lord willing. You know, us out there pushing true sincerity will be a part of that elect, man. So I hope this lesson was edifying, You know, and I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to YAHAWASHI. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. And Shalawam to Lekman out there, doing his work of faith and labor of love and true sincerity. Shalawam and death to America.